Morning. It's the CAF Champions League. Remo Stars will be up against Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, this is big. It is Nigeria versus South Africa once again. Yep. Right? And this is the champion of the Nigerian League versus the champion of the South African League. I don't know why they're meeting at this stage. We'll get to that. We'll talk about CAF. But it is Remo Stars this weekend at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. Yeah. It's very close to our fitness house here. You should have, if you're in Abeokuta for this weekend, you would have gone to see the match.
See the game, of course.
You'd have gone to see that match.
If only I was in Abeokuta. But then it's going to be a fantastic game. Just like you said, it's champion against champion. I mean, just when we thought that we were free from Nigeria, South Africa in international game, now we are seeing ourselves right now as rivals in club football. And trust me, Sundowns are going to be a big text for Remo Stars because this they're champions. Of course, when it comes to the CAF Champions League, they won the league in 2016. They won the competition in 2016. They've been coming close. They've been falling to the likes of Pyramids, Alali, Esperance, and all of that. But Remo Stars, they're like basically new to this competition.
Yeah, so they are.
It's going to be really tough on them. But if there's a team that can go all the way and battle Sundowns, it should be Remo Stars. These are the defending champions of the NPFL. But they've not started really well this season. They lost their last game against Katsina United 3-1. Mamelodi Sundowns as well. I mean, they are partially doing well in the PSL too. But their players, you know, also some of them negotiated the game against Rwanda for the Bafana to qualify for the World Cup. Exactly. So now they'll be facing maybe fatigue, jet
so
lag.
Miguel Cardoso, coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, mentioned that 8 of his players, of course, 8 players were there for the national squad. But let's take a look at the lineups, right? Maybe we'll look at Remo Stars. We'll get to talk about that, the lineups or the expected lineups. So what we have here is what we'll say expected. So maybe let's start with Remo Stars, right? Remo Stars, of course, Biola will be in the goalkeeper position and all of that. They've not, they're not stressed like, say, you would say a Mamelodi who had to play that, right? But from Remo Stars, from what you see, do you think that they have what it takes with this lineup? Let's take a look at the lineup for Remo Stars. With this particular lineup, do you think that they have what it takes to go up against Mamelodi Sundowns?
Well, I think the issue is going to be maybe form and where you put your head, because this season, I think maybe the continental commitment is what's affecting them, because like I said, in the MPFL, they're not really performing well. Maybe they lost their goalkeeper. That's talking about Bankole. He is signed to a South African club. I mean, that rivalry between Nigeria and South Africa is really brewing up. Bankole, who did well for them last season, has moved on to TS Galaxy in South Africa. So they haven't really maybe found the replacements. They are still trying to like fire on all cylinders. And Ngenge is doing well at the back. But I think where they need to go forward is that midfield. They really need to improve on that midfield. But trust me, like I said, this is the time where at this time on the continental stage, you lose, you go home. So maybe if they should go further in this one, they should also find a way to get some depth to their squad so that they can negotiate both the MPFL and the Champions League, because this Champions League commitment has really affected them in the MPFL. They're not really doing well. They lost their last game, like I said. So they really need to focus and split their focus and get squad depth, and they will be able to go all the way this season.
All right, let's take a look at Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, like we mentioned, 8 players. Goalkeeper Rowan Williams. There's Aubrey Madiba, Koliso Mudau, Malibongwe, Kotsa, Tebogo, Ahmad, Tebogo. That guy has there. He almost caused wahala, but Tebogo Mokwena, not his fault, by the way. Of course, there's also Obas, there's Ikram Renas, and there's Morena. That's 8 players. And then Cardoso also mentioned traveling. They have to come to Lagos, and then Lagos Abeokuta. He said 2 days, but it's not. Lagos to Abeokuta is not that far. I think Cardoso was being a little bit dramatic, right?
He's not living in Nigeria.
I mean, Lagos to Abeokuta on road is what, 1 hour 30 minutes?
Yeah.
1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours. You know, so he mentioned that he was 2 days traveling.
Calm down.
Cardoso, calm down. Yeah, but let's take a look at that lineup here. Talking about Mamelodi Sundowns lineup, of course. This is unexpected now. It is not the lineup as it were it's going to be, but this is what it's going to be when it comes to what we expect or we think that it will be. Of course, their lineup is basically set, right? And all of that. But do you think fatigue would affect them when it comes to this one?
I mean, especially the players that the ones that got the game for Bafana. I think there will be issue of fatigue with them. You know, they are back to training immediately. But I mean, it is what it is. That's what football is all about, and that's what being a professional is also all about. I think where their strengths, especially is at the back, the likes of Rowan Williams, the goalkeeper, who for me is the best goalkeeper in Africa. Maybe with him and Bono. I think for me is one of the best in Africa.
No, I'll go for Bono.
I think I'll go for Williams.
Bono over Williams. Bono showed it at the World Cup. Bono has shown it at the bigger stage.
Yeah, but Williams has been pressing a long time. And it's his time right now. It was in the Ballon d'Or conversation.
Oh, that's true.
So
that's true.
I think we also have the likes of Koliso Mudau, their right back, which is also fantastic. Aubrey Modiba, the left back, too. Fantastic player, and Teboho, your man, also a good defensive midfielder. So, but I think that if there's anything that South Africans can do very, very well, if there's something they are good at, is to negotiate games. And Mamelodi Sundowns, I think their experience will just count for this game against Remo Stars. Like I said, they have the title to themselves. They won it in 2016, and they've been coming close. So they really want to go further as well this season. Ikram Reyners is actually back for them, which is a big boost. They are still missing their main man, 36-year-old Tembo Zwane. Is still out, but I think they will have just enough to negotiate this game against Remo Stars.
To negotiate that game against Remo Stars, or like we mentioned for Cardoso, I don't think it's a problem. We know how to take care of people here. We know how to host you. We're going to host them, but let's take a look at that game. You think Remo Stars, for me, it's going to be a big problem when you get back to South Africa, but for here in Nigeria, can Remo Stars win this game?
In fact, it's like they're playing an away game, even here in Nigeria, because they're not playing in Ikene. They are coming to play at a very beautiful stadium. My own base, right there in Abeokuta. And for me, I think if that's a way factor, even in Nigeria, it's not going to affect them. They should just take it like, since they're playing in Nigeria, they're playing at home. If they can bank on that, they should be able to beat Sundowns. But Sundowns is a team that can beat you anywhere. Because, like I said, this is their competition. They've been here a long time.
Yeah, 2016, of course. Since that time, they've been trying to repeat it. They last year finals to Pyramids was quite, a heartbreaking one for them. And of course, before then, semi-finals, they're always
Esperance,
up there.
Alali, Mazembe. These are big teams that even if they jam Remo Stars at this point, it's going to be tough. So I think they shouldn't have done it. I think CAF should come out to just come and explain how
let me say something here. Mamelodi is a bigger club than Remo Stars.
By far.
Much bigger club than Remo Stars.
By far.
Remo Stars were champions of the Nigerian League with over 10 points from Rivers United last season, right? But they're just coming up. They're a small team. I'm not very optimistic about this one. And see, to tell you, if of course, as a Nigerian, I would want Remo Stars to qualify, but as an analyst, Mamelodi Sundowns will pick this one. Remo Stars are champions of Nigeria.
Yes.
Mamelodi Sundowns are champions of South Africa.
Yeah.
If it's a UEFA thing, some champions are automatically seeded. But apparently, from what we see now, Remo Stars are not seeded.
Not seeded, yes.
Which is the reason why they are playing Mamelodi Sundowns at this particular stage.
Yeah.
And Remo Stars are basically a very new team. They're not on the same level as Mamelodi Sundowns. They're basically a new team. They're just champions of the Nigerian League, 10 points above Rivers United last season. So if it probably was like an Aimba, they won't meet.
No, at all.
If Aimba had won, they won't meet Mamelodi Sundowns. But you made mention that on CAF Online, they explain why it is that the champions of Nigeria will meet the champions of South Africa at this particular stage.
Yeah, yes, I did mention that. And just like you said, you've said it all. I mean, there was a ranking, a CAF 5-year ranking. So for the qualifying phase. And one thing I just noticed is that, like you said, in UEFA, I mean, they will have, even if they want to do the groups, they will have seeded the champions, and they will put other teams that came through the qualifying round, then they will do the group stage. And before, I used to see it way back that they will just do the group stage. But right now, even the champions of South Africa, they are playing in the qualifying.
Instead of straight buy into the group stage.
They buy into the group stage and allow other teams, maybe teams like this that are unseeded, to now play the qualifiers and then join them in the group stage. But right now, everybody's playing qualifying, but Alali and Mamelodi Sundowns got buys
for the first round
into the other second qualifying phase, where they will be meeting teams like this. Remo Stars played Zilimanju, you can remember, but why that time they were playing Zilimanju?
Talking about that.
Buys.
Exactly, talking about that. Then let's take a look at the head-to-head for both teams. Remo Stars, of course, in their last 5 matches, they've lost to Katsina United 3-1. They defeated Wiki Tourists 2-0, and Abia Warriors lost. They lost to Abia Warriors. This is all in the Premier League, and then the Champions League, Zilimanju, they qualified with it was a 5-0 aggregate, right?
The team from Comoros, they were easily dispatched by Remo Stars.
All right, so that is 3 wins, 3 out of 5. That's talking about Remo Stars. Let's take a look at Mamelodi Sundowns and their head-to-head. They just lost in the Telkom Cup against Marumo Gallants.
Yes, they lost, like you said. I mean, it went to penalties, and that's why I think maybe it's just due to the national team engagements that their players. Mokwena,
8 of them.
Yes.
Reyners, how many? 8 of them that were not available. So they were not available for this match.
Some of them were. But then maybe they were already thinking
about getting set. This was prior to that match.
They played. Some of them played, but then it was not a game to remember for Sundowns.
For
but
them.
I know they will bounce back.
All right, they defeated, of course, Richards Bay 4-1. They lost to Golden Arrows. Now, this one was quite a very, very surprising one for me. This loss against Golden Arrows.
Yeah.
Personally, my investments were affected in this match. But yes, when they lost this match, defeating Durban City 3-1. Of course, Marumo Gallants also in the PSL, who knocked them out of the ticket.
They just can't get
they have a problem against Marumo Gallants. So that is 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. The form they are carrying into this particular match. I'd mentioned earlier that I think Mamelodi Sundowns is bigger than Remo Stars. If Remo Stars takes out Sundowns, it would be a shocker.
It would be a shocker, but I don't
forget that they're champions of Nigeria.
Yeah,
they're not on the same level.
Yeah, like you said, it would be a shocker, but at the same time, too, it's African football. Anything can happen.
Thank you for all the support on the channel. Yeah, we're on the road to 5,000 very soon.
Yes, so and please keep liking and commenting and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 5K. We hope to get to 10K before the end of the year, but with you guys, we can do it, of course. Keep watching.
Thank you very much.